Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Its-A-Mii here, and today we're going over a bunch of Switch 2 physical news that came out over the past week. We have more confirmations of game keycard games. We really unfortunately have more code and box confirmations. A game keycard actually sold out. It is not currently available because it seems like demand is high enough. And we do, thankfully, have a true Switch 2 physical game where all of the data is going to be on the cartridge. So that is what we are talking about today. Of course, if you are new here and you enjoy Nintendo Switch 2 collecting, I would appreciate you subscribing and liking the video. Let's get into it. Okay, welcome back to the channel. I hope your morning is going well. I wanted to do just a nice little roundup video of everything we've learned over the past week regarding Switch 2 games. Now, I call these physical news videos, but I know a lot of people will take issue with that because we are talking about game key cards here. But starting off, Bill-Kun dropped this for us. I was wondering what was going on with this game, but Hogwarts Legacy will have a physical copy on Nintendo Switch 2, but it will be a game key card with a download size of 24 gigs. Here is an exclusive look on its box art. I was wondering about this one because we had seen it go up on Play Asia as like an Asian release and one of the Japanese releases, and I mean, this is undeniably one of the biggest games launching with the console. It's a huge megaton of a seller. So the fact that it wasn't up for pre-order on GameStop and elsewhere in the US so far was weird. I wonder what's going on here because as of recording this video, it's still not up for pre-order. But it is nice to know that if you are into game key cards, there is still going to be an option here. I had kind of resigned myself to it being digital only, like truly digital only. But that doesn't really make sense because Hogwarts Legacy is such a big game. It will likely sell millions of copies on Switch 2 alone. So thankfully, we are at least getting a game key card. It's not an eShop only release, and we'll see when pre-orders go up. I mean, I actually asked Bill-Kun here, do you know if it's going to release on June 5th or later? And Bill-Kun replied, yes, it will be on June 5th at $59.99 USD. So that sounds about right there. We'll see when pre-orders go up. Maybe pre-orders won't happen, and then this game will just release on June 5th. But still, nice to have confirmation that bare minimum, it is getting a game key card release. I also feel like it's worth noting that when it comes to this game and the next one we'll talk about, these games on every platform require a download. Hogwarts Legacy, not just on PlayStation 5 and on Xbox Series X, but also on Switch, required a download to begin with. So I would say this is maybe the least surprising game key card ever. Like, I was expecting this game to be a game key card, not fully on the cartridge. 24 gigs seems really small though for what this game is. I think it's over 50 or 60 on PlayStation 5. We did learn it's going to be running at, I think, 1440p for the Switch 2 version, which is great. Interesting. 24 gigs seems pretty small, so they really compressed this version of the game. Similarly, though, we did have the physical game key card confirmed for Star Wars Outlaws. Once again, game key card. This is a game key disc, we'll say, on PlayStation 5 and Series X. Very unsurprising game key card release from Ubisoft. However, I have to give Ubisoft a little bit of credit here. I am very surprised by the pricing for this game. I was at my local Target yesterday, and the gold edition of this game on PS5 with all of the DLC and Season Pass stuff is still retailing for like $110. I'm sure it goes on sale off, and I'm sure you can get it digitally on PSN for maybe half that price. But usually when you see late ports of these games on Nintendo platforms, they will sell you the full game for the full price. In this case, Star Wars Outlaws was $70 plus the DLC separately. But no, on September 4th, when this game releases, it's going to be the full game with all of the DLC for $60, which, I mean, you could argue it should still be cheaper, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, usually with these late releases, they really upsell you on the Nintendo version. The fact that it's all there for $60, not bad, gotta be honest. It's better than I was expecting anyway. We'll have to wait and see how this port is compared to the PS5 version. I know Star Wars Outlaws had a lot of issues at launch, but I always get comments saying like, Bo, Star Wars Outlaws, despite the internet outrage, was actually a pretty good game. So I'm kind of in my Star Wars era right now. I think I might end up picking this up. We'll see. Maybe I just get it on PS5 and, screw the DLC, buy it on PS5 for like $30 and play it that way. I probably don't need the DLC, but yeah, whenever this game comes up, I always have people commenting saying like, no, actually this game is pretty good. So it's a game key card, but other than that, Ubisoft seems to be doing pretty right by this release, with it including all of the DLC for a regular retail price. Next up, let's talk about some code and box releases. Very disappointed by these. Game key cards, I am not outraged by like a lot of people are. I'm actually going to have a whole video dedicated to my thought process on the game key cards tomorrow, so subscribe if you want to watch that. I know I'm going to make some people angry in that video. But the code and boxes, these I'm totally against. I just don't really see the point, because if you want to buy a game digitally, that's fine. a code in the box. I get it. It's so that people can wrap it up for a Christmas present or whatever, walk into a store and buy it. But it's just like, come on, man. Nintendo's offering these game key cards. You can't just do the 1 gig card just to, you know, make sure there actually is a physical object that you can resell, so it's not tied to your account. But we have 2 code in box confirmations here. First up, I haven't seen anybody really mentioning this, but Shadow Labyrinth from Bandai Namco seemingly is a code in box released, at least in Japan. Play Asia has it up for $30 here, and as you can see, code in box for Shadow Labyrinth. The box art here has the little download icon. This is a weird one. I am crossing my fingers that it will at least be a game key card in America. And it's especially weird for Bandai Namco to be doing it because, as we'll get to with another one of their releases, in Japan, it's actually going to have the full data on the cartridge. So I'm hoping this is not final, and at the very least, I'm hoping in America and in Europe, this will not be the case. But Shadow Labyrinth is a game I'm excited for. It's that Pac-Man Metroidvania. It's going to be, you know, physical on all the other platforms. If the Switch 2 version is the only one that's a code in the box, just has me scratching my head there. It's not like it's a huge game or anything. What are we doing, Bandai Namco? But also, and this one really disappointed me, Sid Meier's Civilization 7. This is a game that I've talked about on the channel a lot as wanting to play, but most importantly, I want to play it with Olivia, and I want to buy it on Switch 2, and she can play it on Switch 2 and really enjoy it with the mouse controls and everything. Similar to Hogwarts Legacy, I was wondering what was going on here because Civ is a huge franchise. Well, we now know, unfortunately, and this is a huge bummer to me, Sid Meier's Civilization 7 Nintendo Switch 2 edition is a code in box release. And as you can see on the right there, they're still charging $70 for this version. So this is an interesting one. As you can see here, the box is seemingly still going to be the clear that we know from the Switch 1, not the red that we're seeing on Switch 2 games, but it has the Switch 2 banner at the top. But if you read at the bottom here, it says includes the Switch game and Switch 2 edition upgrade pack. So you're getting a code for the Switch 1 game, so you could use this on a Switch 1, I guess, but also a code for the upgrade pack, or maybe it's one code for $70 for a code in the box. Like, dude, come on. This version's going to be pretty good, I think. You know, they talk about here it's going to be 1080p 60 or 4K 30. It's going to have those mouse controls, game chat support. Very cool stuff. I, as someone who has not really played Civ before, I'm excited to play this game, especially with Olivia, who does love Civ. But it being a code and box release is just such a bummer. Now, thankfully, they are offering an upgrade, a $10 upgrade pack for this game that you can buy on the eShop. The Switch 1 version of this game actually does have a proper physical release with the data on the cartridge. I'm not sure if it requires any download. Maybe it's most of the data. I'm not sure, but it does have a physical Nintendo Switch 1 cartridge. This is the deluxe edition, retailing for the same price. This includes all of the DLC. So then I would say if you're a big Civ fan, buy this and then pay the $10 upgrade. You get all the DLC for $10 essentially. But even then, I bet you can get this for cheaper than what they're showing here. So huge disappointment all around from 2K. Hopefully their other releases on Switch 2 do not follow and share a similar fate. I'm looking at Borderlands 4 as one that likely will, because Borderlands 3 on Switch 1 does require a download. Come on, man, at least do a game key card. Let's cycle back to Bandai Namco, though. We were talking about Shadow Labyrinth, and I wanted to highlight this here. I talked about this on the main channel last week when it happened, but since we're doing this roundup here, I figure I might as well, for the sake of being thorough, talk about it, and it is good news. So Tamagotchi Plaza, I'm not sure how many people are excited for this game, but that is besides the point. It is getting a Switch 1 and Switch 2 physical release in Japan with English on the cartridge. Pre-orders are up over on Video Games Plus here. And as you can see, let me open up these tabs. These are actual physical releases. This is not going to be a key card for the Switch 2 version, which is why I'm so confused by Shadow Labyrinth on Switch 2 being a download code. If Bandai Namco is putting Tamagotchi Collection on the cartridge, why are they not putting the Pac-Man Metroidvania on one? It just doesn't seem right to me, so I'm hoping there's something that's not accurate there and they change that. But yeah, it looks like Tamagotchi Plaza, this is one of the few third-party games that will actually be on the cartridge for Switch 2. So if you are one of those people that is only buying the complete on-cartridge games, this is one that you can add to your list of games to be excited for, I guess. From what I've seen of it, it's not really something that is for me. Definitely seems like it's more targeted towards kids, or at the very least, like the cozy gamer side of things that I really don't dive into too much, but I respect it, and it is cool that Bandai Namco is doing this physical release. I wish it was releasing in America physically, and my question is, will we ever get to the point where these types of releases are happening in Asia, where there's English on the front? You know what I mean? This is a Japanese release. Everything on the box is Japanese. The spine will be in Japanese, I imagine. That is you know, standard for a Japanese release, obviously, but we usually get a lot of Asian releases that are, you know, Japanese centric or, you know, Chinese, whatever, but they end up having English logos and everything on the fronts. So for something like this, I would probably wait and see if that type of release does happen, even though ostensibly it is the same cartridge, you know, it's going to have English on it. I do care about having the English on the box. So I wonder if we'll start seeing more stuff like that for Switch 2, like we see on Switch 1 with this same very game, actually. Over on Play Asia, they have Tamagotchi Plaza up with a, what I presume is a fake box art. Like, this is something they mocked up themselves, but it is available for pre-order through Asia. So I wonder if that'll be a thing here. They also have this one up for Switch 2, but it's not available for pre-order yet, but the box art is in English. I don't know. It's very collector brain stuff I'm talking about here, but I will be curious to see if this ends up releasing later. Also, they specify here game cart. It is a full game cart for Tamagotchi Plaza. Very nice. And finally, one last thing I wanted to cover in this video is Kunitsu-gami Path of the Goddess. Now, this is a game keycard release that actually sold out. So I know people are very upset about the game keycard situation. I get it. Like I said, I'll be talking about it tomorrow, making more people angry. But even despite all of the outrage, Kunitsu-gami, I guess, had enough fan backing behind it to actually sell out. So as you can see here, it just says soon announced, pre-orders coming soon. That is because they sold out. This was up for pre-order. I'm actually a little salty I didn't pre-order. I wish I had, because this is a game I want to own on a game key card. But yeah, it's sold out. I saw a Reddit post about it. People were talking like, yeah, depending on the game, it seems like there really is enough demand for game key cards. This is a very niche Capcom release that came out last year on PlayStation and Xbox digital only. So this is the closest thing we've ever had to a physical release for this game, and it's cool that it is at least getting that. I expected it to be digital only, to be honest. So if there is enough demand behind a game keycard will actually still sell out. So we will see what this means long term, like how many game keycard copies of Street Fighter 6 are going to sell, how many game keycard copies of Hogwarts Legacy are going to sell. Will it be enough for publishers to really notice a difference in sales versus if it were a proper release? Certainly they'll be taking a dent based on the fan outcry, but will it be enough to make them change? I'm curious about that. Kunitsu-gami, though, sold out. So far, only Play Asia had it up. Video Games Plus, I never saw it go up over there, so maybe there's still a chance. This is a launch title, of course. Very cool niche strategy game. I did want to highlight this. So, first of all, I had searched like Kunitsu-gami sold out on Twitter just to see like any replies about it, and there were a lot of Japanese posts of people being like, oh, it's sold out. Are you going to restock it, Capcom? But in doing that, I discovered through people talking about it on like the Japanese side of Twitter, there's a whole special edition for this game in Japan that I didn't know about. I haven't seen anybody talking about this. So if you are a big Kunitsu-gami fan, once again, just extremely niche game, there actually is this collector's edition for the Switch 2 version coming out in Japan. I think it might have sold out already. I'm just clicking through websites I've never seen before, but you get like these cool like cardboard cutouts. I think they're cardboard. I'm not even sure. Acrylic standy things, all those pop-ups everywhere. You get a very nice art book. I don't know, kind of neat. I'm not sure if it'll come with like a bigger outer box. I would imagine they would need to package it all together. Maybe this is that box, but yeah, there is going to be a special edition for this game that costs 14,000 yen or 14,619 yen. Once again, that I just have not seen anybody really talking about. Yeah, it looks like sold out on this website here. The only thing available here on Capcom's store is the standard version. And even just, you could buy the item set by itself. That sold out as well. So if you're a big Kunitsu-gami fan, keep an eye out for this. Maybe it'll come back in stock. I didn't even know about it until now, so I completely missed the boat on pre-ordering this, although I probably wouldn't have gotten the collector's edition. But yeah, game keycard actually sold out. Interesting. So that is going to do it for today's Nintendo Switch 2 physical news updates. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Are you planning on picking up any of these games? I know there's going to be a million comments being like, I'm not buying game key cards, and that's totally fine. Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars Outlaws game key cards. Really unfortunate to hear code in boxes for potentially Shadow Labyrinth, but Civilization 7 is 100% a code in box. Just so disappointed by that. Tamagotchi Plaza, though, a nice shining light, a beacon of hope, so to speak, in the physical landscape right now. That's pretty neat. And then, yeah, Kunitsu-gami, I'm still bummed that I didn't pre-order it because I totally want it, even as a game key card for the collection. So let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments down below. I do have affiliate links down there on Amazon if you want to purchase any of this stuff through Amazon to support the channel. I would really appreciate it. If not, I totally get it. That does support the channel directly, so if you want to support me that way, you can do that. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Check out my Nintendo news channel at BoTalksGames, and you can click on one of these two videos to listen to me ramble about even more Nintendo collecting nonsense. Until next time, folks, peace.